your streets, your clubs, your traps, and even in the trunks of your Cadillacs. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show, let it roll. I'm Truth.
I'm Life.
We coming unapologetic, so let's get at it.
Thank you for tuning back in with DONT-MESS-wit-TXTV. We appreciate you. Hey, we're just gonna start off where we left off in the last episode. Hey, let's see what's on the table today.
Yes, it feels good to be back. I hope y'all enjoyed the last show. We are sharing a lot of hidden truths because what you believe in has to be challenged.
That's
with
right.
A witness, a demonstration. And I know there's a lot of people in these churches where God is dealing with them, but they don't understand what's going on. And y'all looking for answers. Even when you read the Bible, there is some testimonies, for example, and you try to hold on to that.
That's right.
You try to hold on to what's written, but there's no sustaining. And the reason why there is no sustaining, because there's no knowledge. And when you go to your pastor or your so-called prophet or your doctor, you're looking for answers concerning God's dealings in your life.
That's right.
And they can only give you what's written.
That's right. When you hopeless.
Which is head knowledge. But he don't have what's being spoken by God in the now for your unique situation.
That's right. Because that's what we need. We need something now. We need God to answer. We need an answer in our situation now. What to do now, Lord. We know what they did in the past, but what you want me to do now.
Correct. You know, in the book of 1 Corinthians, Paul said in 1 Corinthians 2:1, Paul say, I come not with excellency of speech. Excellency of speech. I want to talk about that.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of those.
That's head knowledge. That's what's written. He said, I come by demonstration, spirit and power. That's not something written. That's something spoken.
That's right.
That's a mystery. So when Paul said, I come not with excellency of speech, but by demonstration, spirit, and power, Paul is saying, I'm not coming with a common message.
That's right.
A generic message.
That's right.
That all these pastors in the churches, they only can tell you what's going on in the world.
That's right. That's right. Or they try to, how can I say it, give you certain words that make the message even much feel more enticing. But it can be enticing, but without the power. And you can't have the power without the knowledge.
Come on,
you can't have the demonstration without the ingredients. And
that's right.
The knowledge.
And it all comes down to instruction.
That's right.
You know, when you said concerning the message that man gives, they give it in their wisdom.
That's right.
To entice the hearer.
That's right.
You know, even with the Greeks, you know, everything we have to look up that's around the Bible is something about Greek.
You're right, and that's what a lot of the pastors study from. They study from all these theologies. And my thing is, God have really shown us, how can you study a book about a creator that created you? You can't study God.
I like that.
God have to explain himself to you, show himself to you. And the only way you can be shown of God is his instructions.
Correct. You know, even in the book of Colossians, I believe it's in chapter 2, when Paul say, beware lest any man spoil you. Now I looked up that word spoil, osha, in the Greek. I could not, it just didn't line up.
Yeah.
And I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, spoil. He said, deceive you.
Deceive you, my God.
I was like, my God.
My God.
So now I understand what Paul was saying. He's saying, beware, lest any man deceive you through philosophy. What is philosophy? man's wisdom.
That's right.
It's a doctrine of demons.
That's right.
You know, psychology, theology. It's vain deceit. You know, they teach you with these methods of man
Manipulation.
to manipulate.
That's right.
They use reasons and ideas to perform occlusion of truth, which is a doctrines of demons. It's a doctrines of demons. Now I want to continue on. When Paul said, "Beware lest any man deceive you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men." So we know what a tradition is. You know, it's a custom. It's something that we
Do
celebrate over and over again.
With no change.
And I said, Lord, what is this supposed to be traditions? He said, it is doctrines and commandments of men. After the doctrines and commandments of men, beware lest any man deceive you through philosophy and vain deceit. After the doctrines and commandments of men, after the rudiments of this world. What is rudiments? The things that these prosperity preachers talk about. You know, the things of this world, the things that pull you away from God.
That's right. That's so true.
I want to go to Galatians 1, chapter 11. It says, "But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached is not after man, for I received it neither of man, neither was I taught it by man, but by the revelation of Jesus Christ." What is Paul saying? He's saying, this mystery I received. It wasn't given to me by man, neither taught
That's right.
by man.
That's right. You can't teach.
But by God himself.
That's right. That's right.
You know, I want to give a testimony. When the Lord dealings happened to me back in 08, he took everything away from me. It's so imprinted in my mind. He took everything away from me. Man, he brought me low. And I didn't understand why. And he was telling me, everything you have learned, it's time to unlearn. I will teach you all things. All things. And you know, God's been teaching him for 16 years.
Yeah.
16 years.
Yeah. Because he's the only one can teach himself.
That's right. That's right. And you know, it's so beautiful. You know, to know the difference between what's being said and why it's being said. You know, you have to separate what God originally intended it to be from the adding and taking away which man wants it to be by their commandments and doctrines.
That's right.
You know, I remember, I believe it was back in 09 when I was in the church, and it was this brother. You know, I admired him because he was winning souls for the Lord, bringing them in. And we just crossed paths and, you know, had a good friendship. And he witnessed the prophetic in my life because there were some things the Lord told me to say to him, and he was like, "You're a prophet." And I'm like, you know, call it what you want, man, you know. So I want to talk about this particular Sunday. The Lord told me not to go to church, and I did not go to church. He called me. He said, "Brother, it's something, I feel like the Lord want me to stay home. He want me to stay home." I said, "Brother, you better do what the Lord say do." But you know, when I heard the voice, I started to rebuke it. I started to rebuke it. Now the situation was his daughter he haven't seen in a long time. He couldn't reach his daughter in a long time. And what was so beautiful about this, he was praying, asking the Lord, Lord, where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? I don't know if it was at ours or what have you. But this is the testimony. So when I told him, I said, brother, you better do what God says. And he trusts me as a prophet. And then he says, well, the Bible says, forsake not the assembly of yourselves with believers. And I said, brother, do what God says.
That's right.
Do you know he did not go to church? God wouldn't let him go to church. Do you know the daughter he been wanting to see, wanting to hear from, showed up?
My God.
Showed up.
My God. My God.
Now, did God say that? Forsake not the assembly of Ukashikata. Forsake the assembly of yourselves with believers? Is this a commandment of man?
Or was it God?
To gain off your pocketbook.
That's true.
Because you know, ministers in the church, they control their own destiny. They don't understand the suffering, the struggle. Because they control their own destiny by the people giving tithes and offerings.
Now, what if he would have been so bound by the written word and missed the opportunity where God was going to show him? If he would have missed that, you never know what would have happened down the line. But he stood still and trusted what the written, not the written word,
the spoken
word was telling him now, in his now situation. And the enemy tried to guilt him with the written word. And see, that's what it is. The written word, we has been guilt tripped.
Have been held captive.
That's right.
You know, these commandments of men. You know, you have organizations where you have one group sit on this side and another group sit on this side. Actually, it's males on one side and females on one side. And they have this covering, and they call it holiness. Holiness. That's not holiness, people.
That's not.
That's not holiness.
That's control.
People.
That's control.
That's legalism.
That's legalism. That's right.
I come from that background. I come from that foundation. You know, and I remember one time the church went to this convention with other churches. Now, I come from the apostolic background. That's my foundation. The apostolic doctrine.
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge that doctrine. Now, we don't believe that women should wear pants, but we go into this convention where churches was there, and you know, I guess it was a conference, what have you. And I see a white lady wearing pants. And a situation happened where the Lord used her. I have never seen that before in the church that
Yeah.
And it confounded me because I was taught that women that wear pants is of the devil. That's not holiness.
That's crazy.
But she had demonstration. And I was confused. I was like, hold on, man. What is going on here? I could not understand. It was really confusing to me.
Yeah. And the Lord say he will use the little things to confuse the ones that think they know everything. And he used the foolish things. You
That's
know?
right.
And the foolish things, to be honest, the foolish things to man is God's way.
That's right.
You know, and God, like, you know what? I'm gonna show you since you saying this is foolish, I'm supposed to use this woman like never before, and you know, and that
and you know, the people, the women that was with me dressed in dresses, with coverings. They couldn't understand. They looked at her like she had a devil. Oh, Rabbi.
Oh my God.
Didn't they did the same thing to Christ?
Yes, they did.
Christ said, look, I come not for the righteous.
That's right.
Look, that word righteous, the Lord told me he's referring to religious leaders. Because religious leaders think they have it all figured out.
That's right.
They think they have it all figured out.
That's right.
And they are deceived. So we know Christ didn't say it. He said, I didn't come for those who think they have it all figured out. But I come for the sinners.
That's right.
The sinners.
That's right. That's right.
To bring them in.
That's right.
To the knowledge of the Lord.
That's right. That is so true. And then, you know, it's like this, you know, they'll look at us, you teaching and you got the music in the background. That's ordinary. That's the devil. That's the devil. You know, but God did things in difference. He didn't do it like how the church do it in the organization, the time that, what looks like God.
Yeah, it's a form of godliness.
Yeah, what looks like God, that's God.
But they are so far from his knowledge.
That's right.
So far from the knowledge. And the reason why they fall from it, because they never obeyed God. That's the beginning of coming into the knowledge of the Lord.
That's right.
Is obedience.
And sometimes they stop. You know, they might start obeying in the first little fruit of it, but you don't endure, because when God starts shaking things in your life, you think it's the devil, but it's God shaking these things, then you give up. You don't endure it, but you continue on in your calling when God haven't made your calling elected. Sure in his his knowledge.
There's a lot of misconceptions of the things that's written, because there are things that have been added and taken away.
That's right.
You know, in the scripture, it says to study.
That's right.
To show thyself approved, to be a workman that's needed, not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Was that actually said? Study. How can you study God when the mind doesn't know God? God has to be experienced.
That's right.
He has to be experienced, and how you experience God is through instruction.
That's right.
Now, people are stuck on this generic view of God where they go in the churches, where they go in the churches, and just because they feel some presence or speak in some tone, they think they fine.
Yeah.
Just because the Lord used you in the prophetic, they think they fine.
That's dangerous.
But there's a scripture when Christ says, in the time when I come back, they would say, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? Do all these things in your name? And what Christ gonna say? You work of iniquity, I never knew you. I never knew you. Have y'all ever considered that, hearers? You know, if you are obeying God, walking this straight and narrow, you will bear witness of what he said and what he didn't say.
That's right.
Concerning what's been taught by the commandments of men. Now, the commandments of men makes God non-effective. He can't demonstrate. He can't manifest himself, because man is in front of God.
That's right.
With his commandments, with his control, with his lordship over the over the flock. You make the way of God non-effective by your doctrines, your lies, and your commandments.
My God.
Man, I know they coming.
Oh yeah.
I know they coming. Because God is getting ready to tear it all down.
Yeah.
He's getting ready to tear it all down. He's tearing that man's foundation down.
Yes, because they have kept the people.
When Christ says, they don't understand. He said, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, What is leaven?
Something
The adding, the theology, the
That's
philosophy, the manipulation. Come on now. The commandments of men. My Abukashi.
That's right.
My God. My God.
Right. And he's raging havoc right now in these churches because they have misused his people for usury. They have misused them and given them false hope.
That's right. Come on now.
You know, he's tired of it.
That's right. That's right.
It's time to shake some things up.
That's right. You know, when you have the wrong revelation, you will not see the manifestation. You know, it's like a treasure, and you have a roadmap. Man teachings with a roadmap how to get something from God. Oh my God! And when you follow that roadmap, sow a seed, sow a seed, sow a seed. And will I not pour you out a blessing the way you not have room enough to receive it? I will rebuke the devourer.
That's right.
Man, that is so generic. That is so generic.
That is right.
Go ahead.
When you said that about the roadmap, it's like Google. You know what I'm saying? We trust in Google to lead us the way. And half the time, that place not there.
Come on now.
Google have to redirect you and to direct you.
And ain't that frustrating?
That's frustrating.
So if you trying to get to this treasure, and you have a wrong direction, how is you gonna reach it? How is you gonna see it? How you gonna experience it? It's not by the works of the law we see God. We see God by following his instructions, which to obey him, to see the demonstration in our lives and others.
That's right. That's right. He's still working, people. God is still working. He is still working. You know, like he said, you know, the pastors these days have stunted our growth in God. You know, like all the different religions, you know, the different names, the different this, the different that. No, he is, I am who he is. You know, that's as plain simple as that.
That's right.
And he will show himself to us if we get our pastors out the way. Sometimes you got to get the pastors out the way. I'm sorry.
Right. That's right. That's right. Because when God is dealing with you, you know, I remember when God was dealing with me, the pastor couldn't help me. He couldn't help me. You know, I'm trying to be sustained to the word. Hey, just keep speaking the word. Keep speaking the written. I'm like, man, this. Yeah. You know, so it got to a point to where I was like, it got to be something more. God, it got to be something more to you than where I'm at right now. It got to be something more. That was that hunger.
That's right.
God saw that hunger. You know, when we get that experience, you know, we get baptized in his name, and we receive the tongues, and we have that zeal. We want people to experience what we experience. And it also says in the Bible they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. You know, I want to get this other, because I have plenty of testimonies. These are hidden truths. I remember a brother reached out to me. He said, man, I don't know why I'm going through all this warfare. And the Lord speaks to me. He said, tell him to stop praying for people. So when I said what the Lord had said, he couldn't understand that.
My God.
But the Bible say pray without ceasing. Pray without ceasing. And that's what I'm doing. I'm praying without ceasing. But the Lord say, don't pray. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop praying for people. This is why you going through the warfare you're going through.
That's right.
God didn't tell you to do that.
That's right.
You wants to do that.
He wants to do
that. That is your zeal. To do something for God, but you don't have the knowledge, neither the understanding, and how to move.
That's right. That's right. And you know, when people say they'll pray for your enemies, pray for this, pray for that, you don't know what type of judgment God got on that person, or that land or whatever, and God said, no, don't pray for that land. He must told prophets, don't pray for that land. Do
That's
this
right.
to that. Do this to that person.
That's
so
right.
people got to get that out their mind, like, God is just all love. No, he's love, but he's judgment and righteous as well.
That's right. He's a God of love and judgment, but people so stuck on love
Yeah,
and don't understand the judgment of God.
that's right.
The thing of it is that pastors, they can only tell you what's written. They don't have what's spoken.
That's right. That's right. I want to go back to, like, when you said the guy about the praying. It's like, okay, you praying, but you don't know, like I said, you don't know what you're fighting against. Now you took on something that wasn't even much your battle. Now you're wondering why this warfare. So he couldn't understand why you told him that, and he was confused.
That's right. That's like the brother who called me and said, man, I feel like God want me to stay home.
Yeah.
I don't understand, but it says, forsake not the assemblies of yourselves with believers.
That's right.
But why God? So God went against his word, or did he go against man's commandment? Oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God. Hey, I hope y'all enjoyed this show.
Yes.
We coming with hidden truth. Because what you believe in has to be challenged with a witness of demonstration.
That's right. That's right. We really appreciate y'all, and thank you. Where we talk about God, family, and your everyday life. See you next time.